Joe, in real life, injury is part of this game. And I know that. I'm not a fool, I'm not a child anymore. Um, and I've agreed to pay that price. That's like part of the contract. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget that, there are going to be these days that you're not sidelined for things that aren't your fault, but things that are your fault. And that gets me pretty blue. Like, say what you will about my neck and back injury, I'm the one that hurt it. Now, I didn't know that I was hurting it at the time that I hurt it, but it is my fault. It can't be anyone else's. I was the only person there. And that can make you feel blue for a variety of reasons. I'm feeling better today. Hopefully I'll be able to get to my minimum, which minimum seems like a silly word now because I spent the last 5 days skirting well under my minimum, but we'll try to reestablish it as a minimum and see what happens there. I don't know. I think that part of what, and I do think about it like a game, part of what makes the game compelling, this sort of fitness journey, this life journey, and intertwining the two, making them part of each other in a real sense. Part of what makes that compelling is that you could do everything right and not get what you want. You'll get stuff for sure, but it might not be what you wanted. And that can be some upsetting work, but it's also gratifying in another way and rich. Sorry, my neighbors are out. I'm ranting to myself on my phone. It's gratifying because you end up getting things that you don't need yet, but you almost assuredly will need later. Or maybe sometimes, if the gods are really cruel, you get something that you needed in the past. That's fun. That's happened to me before. So yeah, I'm on the mend. I took yesterday off of work and I feel a lot better. I've also been sleeping on the floor. I don't know why. Like, my intuition told me to do that and I did it and it really helped. Let's go hit the minimum. Let's see if we can get that minimum up and down today. I'm gonna start fresh on everything on June 1st. And Thursday's a real weird day of the week to start something. But also I have a plan. And it is a wildly less ambitious plan than what I eked my way into over the last 4 months. And I'm feeling pretty excited to get started on it. I'll detail that for you tomorrow. And yeah, on to the minimum. Oh, I got rid of my dorky mohawk. I couldn't bear it. It was too dorky. I'm sporting the Jason Statham now. I feel a little bit better about that. All right, minimums. Let's go. So I have a minor injury, and that wasn't my fault. And that's true, I got hurt, I got sidelined, and these things happen. And I fell into a little bit of a funk, a little bit of a lazy, fucking self-pitying, bitchy funk. And that also I'm going to run against the grain on this one a little bit, but that also isn't my fault. And it's not your fault either, you know? Like, we think that our emotions are under our control. Your thoughts and your feelings are not under your control. Like, you have a limited control over those things at best. I think about it more like breath. You can hold your breath and you can breathe fast, but you can't just hold your breath or just breathe fast. Like, your breath has to override you in order to keep you alive. How else would you survive going to sleep, you know? Emotions and thoughts and feelings and all of that, they're similar. They're always working. We can step in, but they're gonna work whether we step in or not. So at least that initial wave of depression and self-pity, my son's living with me now, and he's been baking. I forced him to bake some coconut cupcakes with this ridiculous blue frosting on top. And there was a 2-day period where that's all I ate. Like, see, getting injured isn't my fault. And feeling bad about it isn't my fault. Indulging it to the extreme is my fault. Absolutely my fault. I can't put that off on anyone. My son asked me if I would stop eating the cupcakes, and I was like, oh, did I eat too many? You're not getting enough. And he's like, oh, it isn't that. It's that I can't physically make this many. And that was a moment where I was like, I'm out of control. Like, and it's not a dangerous kind of out of control like I was with fucking cocaine or alcohol, but it's alike in spirit, you know? And yeah, that's right. That's a hard realization, because in many ways I've come very far. And in other ways, I am sick with the same sort of toxic behavior patterns that I've been sick with my whole life. They've just morphed. They're hiding. They have a treehouse in the woods, and they're out there doing push-ups, getting stronger, you know? While I think they're fucking left and I'm free. We're not free. I'm not free, at least. Maybe you are. Shit, I hope so. It's fucking awful. And so anyway, the part that is my fault. I indulged laziness. I indulged self-pity. I indulged depression. I wasn't depressed. I had some sad thoughts. I worked out every day hard for like almost a full year. And then all of a sudden I couldn't do it. And I got a rush of these fucking negative feelings. And that's normal. That's a normal thing. Go train for a marathon and run it and tell me how you feel the day after. They're like, well, your body's going to be sore. You're not going to feel great. Okay, sure. But that's not the problem. You've been sore before. The problem is you can't train today. And when you can't train, you get sad. And that isn't a choice, right? But what you do with that sadness, that is a choice. And I did the wrong thing. I took the wrong turn. I got self-pitying and depressed and shitty. Today I'm turning it around. And I only got up to 155. But I feel pretty good about it, you know? Like, it's 20 pounds more than I've gotten to in the last week. And the tide's turning. Anyway, this is Joe in real life. I love you guys.